What time is it?
It's island time!
Yeah, everybody, what time is it?
There's no time like island time.
Nobody is ahead, nobody's behind.
Everything's fine on island time.
And you'll be living on island time. Caribbean breezes blow through my mind. Where sand meets sea, that's where you'll find me. Oh, just living on island time.
I'm living on island time. I may be late, but you know I'm trying to make the best of an uphill climb. There's just so much I can do to make it through. I'm living on island time. Being laid back is my only crime. Trying to find a little peace of mind. Living on island time.
All right. It is from the North Coast and the Baldwin Wallace campus. It is the Island Time Radio Show. It is Trop Rock music on the radio. And this is our 24th anniversary tonight on the year. 24 years ago, we started this whole thing. It was Super Bowl Sunday, as I recall. And it was 1 a.m. The show started. So, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't think we had a lot of people hearing us that night. But a few years later, we ended up with this slot, and here we are all these years later. It is a fun show. This is going to be a lot of fun. I wanted to get a Trop Rock veteran on the show tonight, so we got Jack Mosley checking in. And then later, we're going to play some fun stuff. We'll talk about that. Welcome, Cheryl Lang from the North Coast Parrothead Club. Well, she's with us again. Welcome. Hello.
Good evening. Glad to be here.
Fresh from our Frosted Ball over the weekend. We'll
Yes.
touch on that. And Cheryl's actually thinking about other things. In a few hours, she's going to be doing something else.
In 8 hours.
And
Well.
I had it all planned, and it's not working. Let me try that again, Cheryl. And in just a few hours, Cheryl's going to be heading somewhere else. Let's get to the music, though. We'll talk about what you're going to do. We're going to start it off with a few Island Time tracks. I've always joked that we should do a whole hour of Island Time. That might get a little crazy, but we're going to do a few of them anyway to start things off. For the anniversary, this is Jerry Diaz and Hannah's Reef. Hello? How'd you get this number?
Neon pagers on teenagers make me want to laugh. Laser beams and fax machines, the world is moving much too fast. Digital this and cellular that, it's a crazy, crazy race. I run against these high-tech rats with a lost look on my face. I'm living on island time. I may be late, but you know I'm trying to make the best of an uphill climb. There's just so much I can do to make it through. I'm living on island time. Being laid back is my only crime. Trying to find a little peace of mind. Living on island time. microwaves and rollerblades are improvements on the past. These new drive-through cheeseburgers are food that's just a bit too fast. Fiber optic, orthoscopic, things come into view. I think I'll stay at home and watch a baseball game before someone speeds that up too. I'm living on island time. I may be late, but you know I'm trying to make the best of an uphill climb. There's just so much I can do to make it through. I'm living on island time. Being laid back is my only crime. Trying to find a little peace of mind. Living on island time. Just trying to find a little peace of mind. Living on island time. And beach music just plays on.
Hey, Kai, what time is it?
What?
What time is it?
Are you serious right now? What, you got someplace to be?
I'm just kidding. You know we're an island town.
Good, you got me. You got me going there. That was good.
We get up when we get up, go to bed when we pass out. We eat when we're hungry, that's the island way. In fact, there ain't nothing at all we got reservations about, except making sure to unwind every day. 'Cause we're living on island time. Leave your watch and your worries behind. Taking life where it falls with a grain of salt and a wedge of lime. Yeah, we're living on island time. Gotta change your whole latitude line. There ain't no place like home in the tropical zone. Just living on island time. I can tell you're a company man by the cell phone on your hip. That Jimmy Buffett ringtone don't fool me. And I can see what's important to you from the tan line on your wrist. You're looking around like you got some place to be. Same old story every day. Overworked and underpaid. Time to cut off a big old piece of mind and start living on tropical zone, far away from the poles. Find your Caribbean soul. Buy your ticket today, throw your date book away, and start living on island time. Hey!
Baby, pack your bags, we're heading south to this little island I know about. We live in an island bungalow nestled in a coconut grove. Spend our days watching the tide go out, and we're gonna have a good time living on island time, dancing to a Latin beat in a conga line. If it feels right, we'll stay up all night, 'cause you can sleep all day when you're living on island time. We'll find a little beach bar we can hang out at night that makes margaritas just the way you like. And I might sing a song or two. We'll do whatever we wanna do, 'cause that's what you do when you're living on island time. And we're gonna have a good time living on island time, dancing to a Latin beat in a conga line. And if it feels right, we'll stay up all night, but you can sleep all day when you're living on island time. We're gonna get up and leave behind this old rat race, go someplace where we got time to waste, and we're gonna have a good time living on island time, dancing to a Latin beat in a conga line. And if it feels right, we'll stay up all night, 'cause you can sleep all day when you're living on island time. Yeah, we will. And we're gonna have a good time living on island time, dancing to a Latin beat in a conga line. If it feels right, we'll stay up all night, 'cause you can sleep all day when you're living on island time. You can sleep all day when you're living on island time. You can sleep all day when you're living on island time.
All right, starting the show off with some Island Time music. That's Jack Mosley with a classic going back a few years. And Jack's going to join us on the telephone here in a minute. Donnie Brewer with Island Time, and Hannah's Reef with Island Time. DK on duty. It's the 24th anniversary of the show tonight. That's right, 24 years ago this week we started it. But Cheryl has other things on her mind. Cheryl is flying out of here in 8 hours.
Yeah, now it's probably less than that. Yeah, my flight leaves in just under 8 hours.
Tell us real quick, where you going, how long you going to be there?
Going to the islands of Hawaii for a total of 2 weeks. Honolulu, on Oahu. We'll get out and about the island, Maui, and the Big Island.
Awesome. We expect pictures, and...
oh, of course.
I said she should try to find Ricky Hana, Honolulu somewhere.
We'll do that.
Maybe get an interview on the beach.
Jake Shimabukuro is playing at the Blue Note in Honolulu our last night there. So
you going to be able to do it?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
And Jake and Mac are performing all over the islands those 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
And we're missing them on every island by one day.
Jeez. Now, back in the day, Don Ho was the show to see. Is there a show to see now in Hawaii?
I don't know that there's one performer like Don Ho. Oh, I know. Capono. Henry Capono.
Oh, Henry Capono, of course. Are
Yeah.
you going to be there for Dukes on Sunday?
I'm leaving there on Sunday afternoon. So we'll miss him.
That'd be my whole reason to go to the
Well,
show.
and actually, no, he's not in Hawaii. He's on the mainland.
Oh, okay. So no chance to see him.
So we're missing everything.
All right. Well, anyway, better plan next time. But still, it's going to be a great show, I'm sure.
It's hard to plan to see those guys
Right.
as far in advance as I need to
Right.
plan to get the rooms.
I understand that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Jack Mosley, our special live interview tonight. Hey, everybody, DK here. It's that time of year again for the multi-winning Trop Rock Event of the Year and the Trop Rock Music Association Awards. It's time for Music on the Bay 2024 at Whiskey Joe's in Tampa, Florida. Once again, some of the best Trop Rock musicians on the planet have been assembled for this phenomenal event. 2 outdoor beach stages with nonstop live Trop Rock for 5 days, February 28th through March 3rd. Listen to just some of the names on this year's entertainment lineup: Jim Asbell and the Tropaholics, Jonas Lawrence Band, Whelan Brothers, Pirate Flag, The Boat Drunks, Flip Flop Republic, Dave Baker, Joe Downing, Rudy Cox, and more. Plenty of nearby hotels and nonstop shuttles make this event very accessible. The money raised benefits the Shriners Children Hospital of Florida. Get out of the ice cold and head to Florida for Music on the Bay 2024, February 28th through March 3rd. For more information, check out musiconthebay.org. See you there, friends.
From the beach you can hear them sing. Helping the kids is their thing. It's music night and day, a panoramic holiday. Oh, 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 music on the bay.
DK on duty. Dennis King, your host. We got Cheryl Lang in the house. Hawaii bound in a few hours.
Aloha.
Aloha. Let's say aloha to Jack Mosley. Jack.
Hello.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. The snow has melted here.
You're in Tennessee. I cannot believe you moved to Tennessee. How did this happen? If you want to tell us.
Yeah, well, kind of got divorced and had to figure something out. And a buddy of mine showed me this house up here that I could pick up for a reasonable price. And so I've been remodeling and rebuilding. It was about halfway through a remodel when I bought it, and I've been finishing that. In between, shattering my elbow.
Oh, jeez. Wow. So how do you like it there? You're like in the Knoxville area as well?
Well, I tell you what, I love spring, summer, and fall. Winter,
Yeah.
not so much.
Not so much. I hear you. But, yeah, it's got to be a big adjustment because you lived in Florida your whole life, right?
Well, I grew up there, and then I left for a while and lived in Nashville and Houston and whatnot, and Atlanta, and moved back in 1999.
Okay.
And lived there for until last year, 23. And I was just thinking about it. When you played the song, my song Island Time, I was thinking, I wrote that song 23 years ago.
Right. I know. I'm looking at the album cover. I'm like, this is one of the first albums I ever got. 2001 that came out.
Yeah.
And I often think, like, do you have any copies of this? I might have a copy and you don't have it.
I have them all in digital.
Oh, in digital. Yeah, okay. Because I think I got some collector's items here from back in the day.
Yeah, if you've got an original Nature of an Island or Island Time, you hold on to them. You know, that and $7 might get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks one day.
That value is going to keep going up, I tell you what.
As long as the coffee price does.
That's right. You were one of the first artists to send us music, and on our anniversary show, I wanted to get one of the original guys on the show. So thanks for doing this tonight. Well, first of all, say hello to our co-host here, Cheryl Lang.
Cheryl, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Let me ask you this now. Have you ever heard of me before tonight?
I saw you at a house concert.
Oh, okay. Because at the Trop Rock Music Awards, there was a lady there that was interviewing me, and she apparently had never heard me before, and she goes, "Yeah, and what are you nominated for?" And I told her, and she goes, "And how many of these do you have?" And I said, "Not a one."
I was at that event. I heard her. Yes.
I need to apologize to her for that.
And by the way, we loved your performance there, Carolina Blue.
Thank you very much. You know, I'm particularly fond of that song. So that I was very, very thankful and grateful to the TRMA for asking me to come sing it, and for the nomination.
You've had a lot of great music and a lot of great songs, Jack. You definitely deserve a few awards, I would say. You have.
Well, maybe I'll get that Lifetime Achievement Award one day. Who knows?
There you go. There you go.
But you know what? The very first song to ever get nominated was Symphony of the Sea, which is one of your favorite songs.
Oh, yeah. Love that one. So, first of all, tell us how you've been adjusting to this new life. Are you thinking about recording again? Are you playing live in that area or what?
Well, I'm putting out feelers and starting to book gigs, in this local area, and it's kind of appropriate that I'm on the show tonight because I'm going to do one more album, and then I'm retiring.
Oh, is that right?
Wow.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, you got to remember, I've been doing just trop rock for about 24 years.
Right.
And for 10 years, I've been singing in clubs and playing and writing since I was 16 years old.
Is that right?
So
and
just
I'm
a few years.
64 now.
Wow. I'm right there with you doing this show for 24 years. I'm feeling it. I tell you what, let alone playing on a stage. But
so I don't know what this last album is going to be. I've been going through a dry spell. It was since I broke my elbow, it kind of shook me up a little bit.
Sure.
And I've been going through a dry spell, but I'm searching for song ideas right now, and I'll put something I think will be memorable together for my last album.
That sounds great. You've had so many different styles over the years. You've had the great drinking songs. You've had the funny stuff. You've had the very serious stuff, the heartfelt songs about being on the water. Of course, your signature tune, of course, is all about that.
Yeah, and I'm just getting a little tired, and I think it's time for me to calm down a little bit. I lived every one of those drinking songs. So.
Okay. Well,
I write for first-hand knowledge.
It's a true story. It's a true story.
Most of them are.
If you can hang with us, Jack, I'm going to play some music, and then we'll continue chatting here, okay?
That sounds like a plan. I'm right here.
Let's do Tequila Talk. This is from the When the Aliens Came album, not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I love this one as well. I think this is might be your most recent drinking song. Is that right?
Probably so. Yeah.
Let's check it
I
out.
didn't. I don't think I put too many drinking songs on the Carolina Blue album, but yeah.
I know you had an album with no drinking songs on. We'll have to talk about that. And Jack,
How can you do trop rock without drinking songs?
well, JackMosley.com is still your website, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's check out Tequila Talk, and we'll talk a little bit more here on Island Time on the Anniversary Show.
I called an old girlfriend about a week ago to tell her that I missed her and should have never let her go. But what I didn't realize was it was 4 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Yeah, I'd been drinking again. 'Cause it was just tequila talk. Jose Cuervo got a hold of me, made me say a bunch of things I really didn't mean. Yeah, it was just tequila talk, bulletproof and 10 feet tall, without a lick of sense at all. It was just tequila talk. Down to my local bar to blow off a little steam. When the bouncer came over, said it was time to leave. I looked him right in the chest, said, "You don't know who you're messing with. Man, you really should have seen what my face did to his fist. 'Cause it was just tequila talk. Jose Cuervo got a hold of me, made me say a bunch of things I really didn't mean. Yeah, it was just tequila talk, bulletproof, 10 feet tall, without a lick of sense at all. It was just tequila talk. It was just tequila talk. Jose Cuervo got a hold of me, made me say a bunch of things I really didn't mean. Yeah, it was just tequila talk, bulletproof, 10 feet tall, without a lick of sense at all. It was just tequila talk. You know, Jose convinced me it was going to be a good idea to call my girlfriend at 4 in the morning. Tell that bouncer, yeah, I'll pay his medical bills. I got a dog. My dog likes to fish. She don't care what kind of fishing it is. She likes to ride in a boat under a clear blue sky, breathe in the salt air, live in the salt life. And I got a friend. My friend's got a boat. Unlike the last one, this boat floats. So we take along the dog when we want a wet line, breathe in the salt air, live in the salt life. I live in a drinking town that's fishing problem. With more boats than cars and tiki bars on the water, man, we got home. No matter where you are, it's just a coastal state of mind. Breathing the salt air, living the salt life. I got a house, it's close to the sea. There's no place on earth I'd rather be. I can walk to the beach, see the drawbridge rise, breathing the salt air, living the salt life. I live in a drinking town that's got a fishing problem, with more boats than cars and tiki bars on the water, man, we got home. No matter where you are, it's just a coastal state of mind. Breathing the salt air, living the salt life. I got a life people dream about. I've been blessed, there ain't no doubt. So I thank the good Lord every single night. I'm breathing the salt air and I'm living the salt life. I live in a drinking town that's got a fishing problem. More boats than cars and tiki bars on the water, man, we got home. No matter where you are, it's just a coastal state of mind. Breathing the salt air, living the salt life. Breathing the salt air, living the salt life. I got a dog. My dog likes to fish, and she don't care what kind of fish it is.
Those Living the Salt Life. That is Jack Mosley right here on Island Time from the Living the Salt Life album. We've got Jack on the telephone on our anniversary show tonight. Jack.
Happy 24th anniversary.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I remember the first time we saw you play was in Detroit. They had a Parrot Head event in Detroit. We went up there and saw you in the middle of winter.
Was that the show where Fingers Taylor sat in with us?
I'll bet it. That was about the time he was doing that kind of thing, so I'll bet. I don't recall that, actually. I remember several people being there, but anyway, probably.
That was one of the highlights, to have Fingers jump up and, I think the song was, See How I Feel. Oh. And the Fingers jumped up and started ripping on the harmonica. It was great.
That was, yes. The Finns band was there, and I remember you guys recorded a very inebriated version of Margaritaville at the end of the weekend.
Oh, are you sure that wasn't St. Louis?
No, that was... I think you guys did it in Detroit because they ended up recording a live album for the event, and I was like, wow. I remember that cut being the last track on there. It was like, wow.
Oh,
yeah.
Everybody was hammered by the time we got up on stage that night.
Crazy weekend. But we've seen you several times since, down in Florida, of course, and you've been up here a few times. You were even in studio with us about 2 years ago, I think it was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So
had a great time.
We're like
loved it being able, having an RV park right there in the fairgrounds was wonderful.
I remember that. Yeah, right down the street. That's right. Small Boats on Big Oceans. That's the song that has become your trademark tune. That's the one I was trying to think of here a minute ago.
Yeah, I would have to say that's probably my signature tune.
Yeah, great song. It's inspired a lot of people. And it talks about people who really are serious about it and leave their regular 9-to-5 corporate world and head out into the water a little bit on the boats.
Yeah.
Small Boats on Big Oceans. So
we all are.
So, any Trop Rock events this summer or anything like that coming up?
I'm talking to some folks. Might head over to to the Fuchs House. If they'll have me, and possibly over to the Port of Indecision. I've kind of mentioned that with those folks, and we'll see. Right now, it's I've been working so hard on getting this house finished.
Yeah.
That and I really need to get that done. But it was 4 degrees here.
Yeah.
4.
Right.
We have no
4
sympathy.
degrees, and I don't have any insulation in my attic, and I haven't gotten the insulation between the main floor and the basement put in either. So I had to put a space heater in the basement to keep it warm enough so I didn't freeze to death.
Yeah, we know about space heaters.
It dropped 8 inches of snow here.
I heard.
Okay, I have never seen 8 inches of snowfall in my life.
Is that right? That would be your first time since you've been in Florida your whole life, or these other southern towns.
And poor Jackie, she it had been snowing all night, and in the morning she's ready to go out and go to the bathroom. And I opened the front door for her to go out, and she made it to the first step and stopped cold.
Wow. Crazy.
She was like, what the hell is this?
I think you've got a good song right there about your first experience with snow. There you go.
Oh, I might have to do a song about a Florida boy going to Tennessee.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea.
I like the idea. Did you have another...
Well, I was going to ask how Jackie was.
Oh, the brand new dog, right?
Jackie's doing fine. She's curled up on the couch here next to me.
Aw.
That's a brand new one, right?
I am working on a song that in the early '80s I moved to Houston, Texas, and then from Houston I moved to Atlanta. But I was watching a Willie Nelson documentary the other day, and I came up with the idea of a song called "I Should Have Gone to Austin."
Okay.
The music scene in Austin is such a remarkable and open area, and what I was even what I was writing back in the early '80s would have gone over there a whole lot better than it did in Nashville.
Yeah, that's right. That's a very vibrant music town. Yeah. So that's a Willie's.
I love it. I went over there. I sang in Lukenbach, and a couple of other did a house concert and had a great time over there. Love the people, love the country.
Fantastic. Well, Jack, thank you so much for taking some time with us tonight. JackMosley.com is the website. My favorite drinking song of yours of all time, I always crack up when I hear it, is "Blame It on the Tequila." So I got to play that one.
Oh, no, that's the God's honest truth.
That's another true story?
Parts, yeah. The part about falling into the pool, yeah, Bob Brandt. Somebody put Bob Brandt in charge of taking care of me one night in Key West, and that was just a bad move. I had him in gay bars watching drag shows.
You were all over town.
Oh, up and down the ball. We were having a big-time party.
Awesome. Well, we love this one. It's "Blame It on the Tequila." And Jack, I hope we get to see you. You're only 8 hours away now, so maybe we could get you up here sometime.
I know that.
Or we need to go down there.
When I get out there for that last tour, I want to stop by and see you.
Or we could try to get to Knoxville. That's another idea. Our whiskey girl that does a segment on the show, she lives there, and my buddy Rich Breeze, so we know some people down there.
Yeah. I've been talking with people in the East Tennessee Parrot Club about doing some shows for them.
Oh, there we go.
I heard about that.
There we go. Love it. Well, anyway,
and here I thought I was being discreet.
Oh, you didn't tell us it was Nikki.
Yeah, Nikki told us.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
She's a sweetheart. Love her to death.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to do that. We got to get down to Knoxville. Jack, thank you so much again, and good luck with everything. And we look forward to this final album. And you deserve retirement, so we hate to see you stop doing it, but I get it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful night. Trop rock on.
Trop rock on. Absolutely. Thank you, Jack Mosley. You're the man.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
She left her job as an accountant for a week-long holiday down to Cabo San Lucas. Why she went, she really wouldn't say. She was tired of crunching numbers up on the 27th floor. Now we all know this much for certain, she ain't ever crunching numbers anymore. Blame it all on the tequila, the warm beaches and the sand. She didn't know she was a singer till she sat in with the band at that little bar in Cabo. That's when she finally saw the light. Blame it all on the tequila. Now she sings there every night. He used to be an oil field worker. He swore that Texas was the best until he took a 3-day vacation down to this little place they call Key West. He was slamming straight tequila. He was hitting every bar until he saw this señorita was the cutest little thing he'd ever saw. And blame it all on the tequila, he fell in love that very night as she was singing karaoke underneath the bright red light. He bought a drink, she blew a kiss, and he grew weaker in the knees. Blame it all on the tequila, he didn't know she was a he. Those of us who drink tequila know this is absolutely true. That stuff will make you do things you never, ever really thought you'd ever do. So when you wake up in the morning with your face down on the tile of the bathroom floor at Denny's, look at the officer and try to smile and blame it all on the tequila and say it really ain't my fault. I was hanging naked from a street lamp in the middle of Duval. It wasn't me and that guy's hot tub, although his wife was pretty hot. Blame it all on the tequila, let's all do another shot. Blame it all on the tequila, and let's all do another shot.
Of paradise, a dot on the page, untouched by man's heavy hand and his modern age. A bunch of one-lane roads, bicycles, not cars, no bright lights, no neon signs, just a million twinkling stars. stars. A little one-room shack where the sand meets the shore. Hammocks slung between the trees, mangles and much more. Crystal clear waters in shades of green and blue. Dolphins play among the waves, waiting here for you. Come to my island. Come to where we're free. Leave it all behind you. We'll dance, we'll sing, we'll sail, we'll live by the sea. In a cozy beachside bar, laughter fills the air. We got paupers, we got poets, and a self-made millionaire living their own island life with pockets full of dreams. You can come and live this life if you just believe. Come to my island. Come where we're free. Leave it all behind you. We'll dance, we'll sing, we'll sail, we'll live by the sea. Whistling through the palm trees is this island's magic song. Written new every day, coming with the dawn. So if you've had enough of your same old 9 to 5, your gypsy heart still beats, but your soul's barely alive. Find your own true rhythm where the trade winds gently sigh. In this place, this paradise, beneath the endless sky. Come to my island. Come where we're free. Leave it all behind you. We'll dance, we'll sing, we'll sail, we'll live by the sun. Come to my island. Come where we're free. Leave it all behind you. We'll dance, we'll sing, we'll sail, we'll live by the sea. By the sea. By the sea.
Island Time Radio right here on WBWC. It's our 24th anniversary show, and that is some brand new music to the show called Come to My Island from Tiki Dave Sorif. Tiki Dave, originally from Florida, but he has been on the cruise ships now for, 15, 20 years probably by now. And he just sent me that brand new song called Come to My Island. We also had Blame It All on the Tequila from the legendary trap rocker Jack Mosley, who deserves some trap rock awards, everybody.
Yeah.
Come on. TRMA. Are you listening? Living the salt life, Jack Mosley, and Tequila Talk. We also heard in Island Time, going way back for Jack. And thank you, Jack Mosley, for taking some time with us tonight on Island Time. How fun is this? In hour number 2, we're going to get vintage, everybody. I've dug out all songs from the early days of the show And we have a vintage segment from 2003 that I'll tell you about here in a few minutes. And listen to this. All right, Cheryl's getting in hula girl mode over here. That is Captain Quint from back in the day, one of our favorite trop rock bands from Baltimore, Maryland. And it featured a very young John Patty on steel drums, as you can hear here. Pineapple Jam from 2003.
Customs man, he comes to tell me I can't go that way. And if they find I've been to Cuba, they could take my boat away. Doesn't feel like all the freedoms in the USA. I'm sailing today. Cuba's in my dreams.
There he is, one of the founding fathers of trop rock music. That is Sonny Jim White from Life in the Laid Back Lane. This entire hour, everything I play is going to be some of the first music that I ever had in my hands to play on Island Time when we were first putting this show together in 2000. Before Sonny Jim White, actually this one was 2007, a few years later, but Mike Aiken with 99 Miles to Hemingway. The album was called Just Add Salt, and I'll never forget it. Greatest promotional idea ever. He sent me a salt shaker with the CD. I'll never forget that. I got that somewhere in our house somewhere, still to this day.
So it's your lost shaker.
My lost shaker of salt.
I can't say that.
Amazing. We had a brand new one a while ago, last hour, Tiki Dave Soref, Come to My Island. But right now, this is a special treat. I have to explain, this was recorded a long time ago. The audio level's a little bit low, but I think it's airable. So we'll just turn your volumes up on your tuners a little bit. And I got to thank my buddy Rich Breest for being such a archivist of the show. In the early years, he used to record all these shows and send them to me from Florida. And so now I have these vintage things I can play. So we're going to go back to July 21st, 2003. It was a very memorable night on the show with Jeff Pike and Koney Ferrell, and we got a phone call from a guy named Stan the Man, who you guys might remember. Check it out. King on duty tonight, and Jeff Pike, Koney Ferrell from A1A are here with me live in the studio. This is so cool. And on this show, not only do we spotlight the trop rock artists everywhere, but we also like to spotlight what I call all-star parrot heads who really get a lot of attention and kind of become mini celebrities in their own right. And we got one of them on the phone right now from Columbia, South Carolina. We're talking about Stan the Man. Stan.
What's up, DK?
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. How you doing?
I have found out about you by watching some videos, actually.
Yeah, buddy.
And I know
if that was really me. That may be one of those imitators, you know.
Basically, Stan has probably one of the better get-ups. Why don't you describe it to us, your costume, your outfit.
It's a little bit of, it's got a big margarita glass.
Okay.
Got a set of maracas and a parrot bag and a big old top pirate hat. Like, guess you call it a cat in a hat. A cat with a hat, I'm not sure which.
When Stan enters the room, you are aware of his presence.
It's like E.F. Hutton. People listen and look.
I'm a legend in my own mind.
That's it. And one of the artists that we played, Laid Back Larry, has actually written a song called Stan the Man, which we're going to play here in a second. And I think it's pretty cool. Parrot heads are now having songs written about them.
Yeah,
So,
I did the same thing on The Ship Happens. Don't Look Now was written about parrot heads.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
in general, okay.
Yeah,
in
All
general.
right. Very good. Well, we'll have to get that one on too, Koney. We should just do this till 4 in the morning. What do you think?
We can do that. We never sleep. I know Stan doesn't sleep either.
No,
He's
I'm
usually
ready to
partying
go
with
to
me.
Put-in Bay next year. I'm going to go with you guys if y'all get hooked up. Y'all got to get me to Put-in Bay. I hear that's a great party up
We were
there.
just talking about that. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
You ought to
That's
come up.
on my schedule for the 2004 Stan the Man tour. I'm looking at attending the Put-in Bay 2004 Stan the Man tour.
Flocking.
We're putting it together now.
Okay. Flocking of the Faithful would be a good weekend to come up.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like fun. I heard Latitude was there from Myrtle Beach this year, and I'm looking forward to I hear great things about it, so I'd like to come up and check it out.
Usually the second week in June, and it's going to happen again next year, so that would be great to meet you. All right. Well, we're going to play your song, Stan. I thank you for calling in.
Well, I appreciate it, and once again, thanks for giving Laid Back Larry a little time. He's a great guy here in Columbia, and he's done a lot of things for our Parrot Head Club, and also my guys there, Jeff and Koney, they've been good to me too, and been good friends over the years. And you can't, not only all of the friendships you get, but just the good times that you have with everybody when you get to meet each other and have fun. So
That's very true, Stan. I got a lot of photos of you and me over the years. We need a Stan the Man and Jeff Pike photo album.
yeah, we're looking at a book, Neil. I'll have to cut you in on that.
we can get Jackson Quigley to publish it for us.
I don't know if we could print a lot of them.
I was fixing to say, I don't know how much you could really show of these
No,
things.
actually, most of these are always on stage. We met Stan many years ago, and
Yeah,
he
those
just
guys.
he just stood out, kind of like Stephanie's blouse over there.
Hey, Stephanie.
And we had to get him on stage, and it's been a tradition. Every time Stan gets there, he comes up and plays his maracas on stage and kind of steals the spotlight. So Stan
Well,
is the
you
man.
know, when I was in Atlanta with y'all, just a couple days before Buffett got me on stage with him in Columbia. So
I heard about that.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about
this
that.
year with Jimmy
yeah,
Buffett.
they wrote an article here about our club and the charitable things we do, and had my picture in the paper. And he said, well, I told him one of my dreams was to get up and play with Buffett. I already played with A1A and all the other big bands. So they said, well, why not? So they made it happen, and it was a great time. So.
Can I have your autograph, Stan?
Oh, certainly.
That's
And
great.
Can you find some dates for our friends?
Yeah, no problem.
I love it. I couldn't agree with you more
That's
what you were
cool,
saying,
man.
Stan, and thank you so much. We're going to get Laid Back Larry on the show, too, in the
Yeah,
next few weeks.
he's a great guy, and like I say, he does always doing stuff for our club and always helping out everybody. And I'm just glad you're giving some of his music some airtime, and hopefully you can get some of. If you got his first CD, but
Yeah, Lake Surprise. We're gonna play some music from that. Hey, by the way, do you have a website or anything? Stan the Man?
yeah, he's got this laidbacklarry.com.
No, I meant you, Stan the Man.
No, I'm working on that. That's got me
Okay.
working on it. Be standtheman.com, but we're working on it.
Okay.
You know what, Stan? You need to come into Georgia. We'll make a record. We'll make
Hey,
you Stan the Man.
I'm there. Just tell me when.
That sounds great. Thanks. I got fins up to you, Stan, and
up.
we're gonna do your song right now. It's Laid Back
great.
Larry.
And thank y'all so much. And y'all keep it in the road and tell Fingers I said hi.
We'll do it,
We'll
buddy.
do it, man.
All right, see ya.
Cool.
Thanks, Stan. Fins up.
Thank you.
He really is a nice guy.
Well, he's got himself a pirate hat. It stands nearly 2 feet tall. And a margarita glass that's big enough to satisfy us all. And a set of maracas that he's shaking all over this land. When everybody sees him, they all holler Stan, because he's Stan the Man. And he's a trip all by himself, yes he is, and he's Stan the Man. And he's played with the best, yes he has. And it's shake, 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 dance, 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 life seldom gives you a second chance. And he's Stan the Man, and he's a trip all by himself. Well, he's beating anorexia. Well, he beat it half to death. And he's a walking kind of fashion show, like nobody else. And when the party's on, he's all dressed up to beat the band. The party can't get started until we all holler Stan, because he's Stan the Man. He's a trip all by himself, yes he is, and he's Stan the Man. And he's played with the best, yes he has. And it's shake, 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 dance, 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 life seldom gives you a second chance. And he's Stan the Man, and he's a trip all by himself. Okay, Stan, how about a little steel drum solo? Okay, Stan, how about a little conga solo here? Ho, ho, ho. All right, Stan, how about those world-famous maracas? Well, you've seen him in the papers, He's always been an inspiration and a hero to me. From Gervais Street down to Duval Street, he's always got the plan. So raise your glass, and here's a toast to Stan the Man. Yeah, he's Stan the Man, and he's a trip all by himself. Yes, he is, and he's Stan the Man, and he's played with the best. Yes, he has, and it's shake, shake, shake. Dance, 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 life seldom gives you a second chance, and he's Stan the Man, and he's a trip all by himself. Okay, Stan, take us out of here with a little guitar. Hey, Stan.
Yeah, Larry.
How'd you like being in the studio?
I mean, you know this is my first gig.
All right, friends, there's a little clip from the 2003 appearance of Jeff Pike and Koney Ferrell on Island Time, and a interview with Stan the Man, the legendary parrot head from South Carolina. Sadly, we lost a few years ago, but man, what a great character and what a great guy he was. DK on duty. It's our 24th anniversary show, and we're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Mark Woods, the Tiki Tender, and get a drink recipe on Island Time tonight. 24th anniversary. Now, if you thought I sounded young on that clip, wait till you hear our 1996 song from Don Middlebrook that I have here, folks. 96. We thought Trop Rock didn't even start until 98 or something like that. Don Middlebrook was at it. He's one of the founding fathers as well. Mark Woods has yet to check in. We told him to call a few minutes later, but he hasn't checked in yet. So let's do this. This is from 1996. Don Middlebrook, Living Soul and the Pearl Divers, song called Take It Slow. Check out Don's voice on this. You're not going to believe it. On Island Time.
Staring at her, she said, "Oh, oh, oh, take it slow. We are gonna leave this earth one day. So if you find something you want to, that's got to learn not to move oh so fast. Oh, 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 take it slow." And I could not believe what I heard her say. She said, "You got to taste the coconuts along the way." It reminded me of something I'd heard about the roads, but I've been so busy, don't know how. It's no, we are gonna leave this earth one day. So if you find something you want to, that's got to learn not to move oh so fast. Oh, 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 take it slow. She said there too many computers, email overload, the telephone button is stuck on hold. She said many numbers running through my head, now they're talking a world wide web. She said many commercials, everybody say buy it. Whatever happened to some of these? Six packs that everybody's in a rush. That's when she caught me staring at her bus. Oh, 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 take it slow. We all gonna leave this earth one day. So if you find something you want to last, got to learn not to move oh so fast. Oh, 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 take it slow. So I took her advice, planned a day away from my job. When she said she'd like to join me, I said, thank God. So I took her to the park and we walk, and we held hands and we talk. And I don't think I'll ever forget that day, 'cause she let me taste the coconuts along the way. Was the last day before she had to go home. She paid more to me
Tiki Tender. He's the Tiki Tender. You can go on a bender with the Tiki Tender on A1A down in FLA.
All right, it is time for
Oh,
Mark
yeah.
Woods. He's a happy man. He's a Kansas City Chief fan, so he's a little happy tonight, I think.
Yeah. I kind of wanted Detroit to win though, so it's not my ideal desired matchup. I wanted Detroit to make it to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, the Chiefs and the Lions.
Just because they had never been there, or you think it would have been easier, or what were you thinking?
Well, no. Because they hadn't been there, and also, my Krista's parents. Well, her whole family's from Detroit, so my super broad. So her dad was pretty excited that they might make it. So it would have been fun. It would have been a fun Super Bowl to watch. Both of our hometowns, basically. So that would have been fun.
Well, we're waiting for Cleveland and Detroit to both be in it, because that would be the ultimate. Because neither one of us has won the Super Bowl at all.
Right.
So there you
Now
go.
Cleveland, did they ever do any kind of? Were they around before Super Bowls? Like in the
Yeah, we actually won
the AFL?
several championships, but it was all before they called it a Super Bowl. That's
Right.
the last one being
I thought maybe.
64, which was like 2 years before the Super Bowl was created. So there you go. They came close to being in a Super Bowl.
Well, the Chiefs waited 50 years, I think, before they in between Super Bowl wins, at least. So
Yeah. That first Super Bowl that I ever watched, 1969, the Chiefs were in it. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's going to be a fun game to watch. We'll see. Everyone's hating on the Chiefs now because they keep winning, but I don't know.
Well, you know how it goes.
I didn't think that they struggled. It seemed like they struggled a little bit this year, but pulled it together obviously at the end. But
Yeah. I thought Buffalo was going to win that game.
And a lot of people say, and I don't necessarily disagree, that what really happened last night or yesterday is that the Ravens lost the game more than the Chiefs won it. But hey, you can't make those mistakes in the AFC Championship.
Right. There's always going to be a theory of what happened and all that kind of stuff. Well, anyway, congratulations, and hopefully Taylor. What's the big deal? Taylor has to get a flight from Tokyo to Vegas to make it to the game.
I don't know. I know she has a foreign concert, but I don't know.
She's in
Tokyo, I think, the day before or something.
Saturday night, and the game is Sunday night.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling she's going to make it.
I think so.
Well, of course, me and my fellow Chiefs fans have been trading messages. The funny because you're a Chiefs fan, you're kind of automatically not a Raiders fan. So the fact that the Chiefs get to play a playoff game at Raiders Stadium before the Raiders, kind of funny for the Chiefs fans.
Right. They have a fabulous stadium there in Vegas, so that should be fun to watch.
The last time I was in Vegas, it was almost finished, and we usually stay at Mandalay Bay, so I could see it. We looked out over it, but it wasn't quite finished yet. But I haven't been back there since.
So it's going to be interesting to watch. All right, it's our 24th anniversary here. Mark, you've been with us for at least a decade, if not more, I think.
Yeah, I want to say like 2009, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, 2009. And do you have
well, congrats.
Special drink for us tonight, or no?
I do have a special drink.
Right.
I wanted to say also I have an anniversary coming up next month, the beginning of next month. My 28-year Florida anniversary.
Oh wow,
that's pretty exciting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 1996 I came to Florida, so I don't think I'm ever leaving.
Yeah. Congrats on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. I'm pretty pumped about that. It's a fun anniversary to celebrate.
Oh, and you had a birthday last week. Happy birthday.
I did. I had a birthday last week. Thank you very much. There was a time before they expanded the playoffs. My birthday sometimes fell on Super Bowl Sunday. That was always fun. But,
that's right, because the first time I did the show, the Super Bowl was January 30th. So, yeah, it has been pushed into February now.
Yeah, definitely. So, the drink I wanted to talk about tonight is a tiki drink. It's a classic tiki drink, but it's a little unusual because instead of being made with rum, which majority of tiki drinks are made from, or gin, a lot of from gin, this one's actually made from bourbon. And I was serving this at a birthday party actually Saturday night, so I decided to carry it over into the show. And it's called the Halekulani.
Okay.
So this is I'm going to post it in the group so everyone can spell it right. But this is called the Halekulani. This is an old recipe from the early 20th century, 1920s and 1930s, that was recently discovered. Well, not recently, but in the last 20 years, was discovered by an author named Martin Tate, who wrote a book called Smuggler's Cove: Exotic Cocktails, Rum, and the Cult of Tiki. So that's when this drink kind of like resurfaced. Okay, so again, this is a bourbon-based drink. And the ingredients you're going to need is your favorite bourbon, fresh lemon and fresh lime, pineapple juice, brown sugar syrup, which is simple syrup, of course, just made with brown sugar. You can buy that, or you can make it yourself on your stovetop. And then grenadine and orange bitters. So what you're going to do is, in a shaker, of course, you're going to do a nice, healthy 2-ounce pour of bourbon. One each, like a quarter lemon, a quarter lime, so lemon and lime juice equal parts. About a half an ounce of pineapple juice, just a little splash of that brown sugar syrup, a little bit of grenadine for color, and then just a dash or two of the orange bitters. You're going to give that a nice stir in your shaker or mixing glass, and you can strain that over into like a cocktail, like a martini glass, or you can pour it over ice. It's going to be a relatively short drink. Because there's not a lot of liquid in there, but if you give it a nice shake, if you want to make it last a little longer, you can shake it with ice. It'll dilute it a little bit and make it a little longer drink for you. So that's the Halekulani. That one's a little hard to say, but that's a delicious classic tiki cocktail that I wanted to share with everybody. For those who like bourbon more than rum.
There we go, a bourbon drink. Our co-host Cheryl is leaving for Hawaii in 6 hours.
And Halekulani is Hawaiian.
And she's ready to get that drink.
I think I was writing down the ingredients so we could make our first stop the liquor store in Hawaii.
This was I don't know if it's still there. I've never looked it up, but this was there was a hotel in Hawaii called the Halekulani Hotel.
I think it's still there.
The house.
Wow.
This was like the house drink in the bar there at the Halekulani Hotel. So,
beautiful.
Maybe
they might still be making them over there.
Have you ever been to Hawaii, Mark?
Me? No, I have not. That's a trip I should probably take.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to go. I want to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll live through Cheryl.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, Cheryl. Good luck. Have a good time over there.
Yeah, I want to go back to my little grass shack in Kealakekua, Hawaii.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Mark, thank you.
Yeah. Well, have a great trip.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the anniversary show. We appreciate your segment as always, and we'll talk to you in a few weeks.
Yeah, congratulations on the anniversary, and of course we'll replay the show next weekend on Surf 97.3.
Surf 97 on Sunday nights. I appreciate that. Island Time is heard in FLA. Love it. And
yes,
Tiki
sir,
Tender,
right on A1A.
TikiTender.com is the website. And what else was I going to say? I don't know. Thanks.
Go Chiefs is what you were going to say.
Go Chiefs. That's it. That's it. Well, at least you guys still get to be Chiefs. You know, we lost our name here for the baseball team.
Well, we don't. You never know. It may happen with us too. I mean, they did away with most of the. They used to have the guy or the girl ride out on the horse and throw spears around and stuff.
Yeah,
and
we used to love that.
They did away with that. They've kept the name, but now they have that crazy looking wolf as the mascot now. But
okay.
Well,
regardless,
we'll stay the Chiefs as long as we can.
There we go. Good luck to the Chiefs, and have a great viewing party, I'm sure, for the Super Bowl. And we will talk to you real soon, my friend.
All right, fins up.
Fins up, Mark Woods, the Tiki Tender, right here on Island Time tonight. And This song I'm going to play right now is from the very early days. I remember getting a CD in the mail from a guy named Bob Carwin. It was a black and white cover. You could tell it was like Xeroxed or on his printer. And he had made like 100 copies of this thing. And the song had a reference to a college lecture. And I don't know why, but he sent me a couple. I think he sent me a couple copies. He says, here, submit one to the station. And the station picked it up and started playing it in late rotation right here on WBWC back in the day. It's the only song in all these years that's been an Island Time trop rock crossover to the main format here on the station, and I always remind Bob of that when we talk to him. Here it is, the original version of Drive, which made it on not only Trop Rock Island Time, but on WBWC's regular format back in the day. Bob Carwin from San Diego on Island Time.
Drive down this highway 190 miles an hour. I look for a road sign, but I always see it too late. I could use the stars to guide me, but I don't know how since I slept through that lecture. My inner faith would only chide me, 'cause I've never been very good at conjecture. So I drive with my eyes closed, as good as any other way I know. A map won't help me if I don't know where I wanna go. Drive with my eyes closed. There's a fork in the road with arrows pointing every which way, showing me how to get through it. But I couldn't decide which way I wanted to go, so instead of using that sign, I crashed right into it. Driving with my eyes closed, as good as any other way I know. A map won't help me if I don't know where I wanna go. Driving my eyes closed, getting late on the open road. Hallucinations tell me which way to go. Perry Mason says east, but I don't know. Jimmy Buffett's pointing me to Key Largo. I fly down this highway, got my pedal to the floor. I thumb my nose at the speed traps, they don't frighten me anymore. I'm used to the speed now, almost seems just a little too normal. Blur is my focus as I look at the world through my porthole, and I drive with my eyes closed, as good as any other way I know. A map won't help me if I don't know where I wanna go. Drive with my eyes closed, yeah. Drive with my eyes closed, as good as any other way I know. Standing in the middle of Key conquering Belize. Oh, I don't know a single soul, but somehow it seems they all know me. Sitting in the Rasta bar, hanging from a tree. I swear I heard you laugh out loud, oh, but next to me sits an empty swing. But somehow this place has changed, and everything still looks the same. I think I've got no anchor, just the chain. I'm a bit off course, but headed home. 7 days down here alone. When you're there, I'm not all here. Tobacco key is still not growing. Old Raymond's doing fine. Those plywood shacks are all still standing the weather test of this island time. Bella can still brew down here. I'm sending some back home. I just can't bring myself to drink one when I am drinking all alone. But somehow this place has changed, though everything still looks the same. I think I've got no anchor, just the chain. I may have been off course, but headed home. 7 days down here alone. When you're there, I'm not all here. Oh, tell us how you feel about it, Kenny. Walk down Old Front Street, I swore I heard your name. One last swing in that Rastafari, it always ends up that way. But somehow this place has changed, though everything still looks the same. I think I've got no anchor, just the chain. I may have been off course, but headed home. 7 days down here alone. When you're there, I'm not all here. Standing in the middle of Key Cocker in Belize.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah, man.
My koozie's empty. How about handing me one of those ice cold beers?
Oh, I'll be glad to, buddy.
Oh, now I feel like singing.
All right.
He was 3 years out of college, a damn good engineer. Worked hard all day, then he partied away. Things were happy on the old frontier. Had a plan for taking life easy, avoiding the kids and the wife. Well, it drove all the women crazy. These were the 3 best years of his life. Then the corporate boys, they called him, said we got a job to do. Got this problem up in North Dakota, boy, yeah, we need a man just like you. But the sounds
making plans for the haul. Might be dealing with bums, might be dangerous to some, but the old boy is having a ball. Oh, and it's just the sweetest life he's ever tasted. Little laid back and key wasted. Got his toes in the sand, he's a tropical man. He's happy as hell and it shows. He's just living in a drunken stupor, making some money on that old square grouper. Never had any doubt, hell, if it doesn't work out, well, that's just the way it goes. Now his friends all worry about him. They think he's throwing his future away. Kinda hard being upwardly mobile when you're laying in the sun all day. So they call him up to convince him, tell him what it's all about. But on the phone he could never stop laughing. No, got the whole damn thing figured out. Oh, and it's just the sweetest life he's ever tasted. Little laid back and key wasted. Got his toes in the sand, he's a tropical man. He's happy as hell and it shows. He's just living in a drunken stupor, making some money on that old square grouper. Never had any doubt, hell, if it doesn't work out, well, that's just the way it goes. Never had any doubt, hell, if it doesn't work out, well, that's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes.
Buffett's on Broadway, I'm at the beach. He's wearing Johnston Murphys, I'm in my bare feet. He's rolling in the dough while I roll in the sand, picking my six string in a funky little band. I'm living the life Jimmy Buffett only wrote about. While he counts the money, I'll go ahead and live his life out. He'll have to live vicariously through a beer drinking ordinary guy like me. I'm living the life Jimmy Buffett wrote about. He's flying his airplane, I'm driving my van, living with a waitress and working on my tan. He's up with the big dogs making a deal. I'm down here in the real Margaritaville, just living the life Jimmy Buffett only wrote about. While he counts the money, I'll go ahead and live his life out. He'll have to live vicariously through a beer drinking ordinary guy like me. I'm living the life Jimmy Buffett wrote about. He's in the boardroom while I'm in a bar room. He's dealing with stress, I'll be feeling better soon, real damn soon, 'cause I'm living the life Jimmy Buffett only wrote about. While he counts the money, I'll go ahead and live his life out. He'll have to live vicariously through a beer drinking ordinary guy like me. I'm living the life Jimmy only wrote about.
I think that's the first Brent Burns song I ever heard, and I loved it immediately. Living the Life. Jimmy Buffett only wrote about Brent Burns. We had Drive from Bob Carwin, Belize from Captain Quint, and 1996, Don Middlebrook, Take It Slow. Thanks so much to everybody for listening to our anniversary show. I wanted to play Latitude, but we're almost out of time.
I know you all want to go somewhere, so help me sing along. I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. Then you sing, I want to know, I want to know.
Here comes Latitude to wrap this thing up, folks. But thanks so much for listening, our anniversary show. Thanks, Cheryl, for being here.
You're welcome. It was a fun time.
Safe travels to Hawaii.
Thank you.
In 2 weeks, you'll be back, or 3?
I will be gone for the next 2 Mondays.
Next 2 months. All right, we'll see you in 3 weeks.
Yes.
And then it'll be almost Music on the Bay time. So there you go. That's
Yeah.
It's only a month away.
Probably a week and then off to Music on the Bay.
Wow. All right, Cheryl. Well, anyway, safe travels.
Thank you.
Fins up, everybody. I want to go, too. I want to go to Hawaii, too. Let's sing together. Have a great week, everybody. Catch you next time on Island Time.